Hey guys, this is Tyler here in Estonia, and I'm going to discuss with you guys why you should probably try to get a second passport or second residency this year. And also, people should try to get a citizenship by descent if they can, or some kind of residency by descent. The US elections are pretty crazy, really epic right now, and it is just insane. Honestly, it's really driving the crypto prices like to the roof, and they're just going up and up and up. And it's difficult to say where they will end up with. I would not have anticipated 2 months ago that the price now for Bitcoin is roughly double of what it was, or maybe even a little more so. And it's just continued to go up. That also is reflective of a lot of currencies around the world, including the US dollar, which have gone down quite a bit in the past month or so. And I think they will continue to drop, honestly. And this is due to many factors. I'm not going to discuss those factors here, but what I can tell you is that for guys, I've worked with guys who have big crypto holdings, who are multimillionaires, and I would recommend looking at countries, whether it's by descent, by just investment. Look at countries where you can get a second passport or even just second residency. Right now is the time to do it. There's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen worldwide, and for those guys in the Canada and US, it could get really problematic in short order. And you may want that document there just in case. I mean, a sense of redundancy to have in case you either have to leave at a moment's notice, you need somewhere to travel, or you need a document to travel with, and it's just a sense of security. We really don't know what's going to happen. And remember, like I said, many currencies right now have fallen quite a bit, such as the Turkish lira. You can get good opportunity buys right now, whether you're buying a property, it's through investment. If you are holding like cryptocurrency, and I know some of you guys are holding 7 to 8 figures worth of cryptocurrency, it may be a good time. I mean, cash some of that out and put it aside for like an investment to get a passport. In this position, I think you'll give yourself an extra layer of security. And I know it seems expensive, like going out and buying, like spending $100,000 or $200,000 or more on a passport. It seems like a lot, or it could be more, but it may not be as bad as in the big scheme of things down the road. And it will give you like an extra layer of protection. I don't really know what's going to happen stateside, but one thing I can say is that often a lot of action that happens stateside then is implemented worldwide. Often the countries that don't implement the policies, as I've stated before, they're the countries that don't benefit from the financial and economic systems, or they don't run parallel to the financial and economic systems of USA. That this is generally how it works. So you have to follow that closely. And so with currencies down in some of these countries, you'll get really good bang for the buck. If you think of like crypto, and even though that like US dollar has fallen a bit, if you're trading in some of the crypto for cash or cashing out, you can then immediately make that investment, and you have a passport or at least second residency. Look at what the options are. Even if you have to make a small business investment to get some kind of like 5-year residency document, it may be worth it. And it's probably not going to be that big in the big scheme of things. You won't be trapped into any one situation. For people who are more patient, or who also have family where you can get a residency or passport by descent, go for this. This is a great opportunity. Now, for the younger guys here, if you don't have the money, go for this opportunity. See what you can obtain. If you have a parent, grandparent, sometimes great-grandparent, you may qualify for this passport, and this is often the cheapest, and it's sometimes quick and other times it's not. It really depends on the country, but if I could qualify for something like that, I would go for it. And if you think it's too delayed, well, you can still pursue it. Maybe just have another country on the back burner where you could get like at least a residency document to hold at the same time. Because some countries too may start cracking down a lot, especially with citizens. Places like the US and Canada could impose laws against people from like the US obtaining citizenships or residencies in these countries. And that's why I really encourage guys to start looking at it if they haven't, because it's difficult to forecast where the U.S. is going, but they really have been clamping down the past year, and especially the past few months. And I cannot imagine what I'm seeing happening in DC. If that's the course of action, I mean, if they are that strong-armed with expression of freedom, I don't want to know what it could be like in many other aspects of life. This is just a matter of having a decent living and having the ability to live a free lifestyle. That's what we have to think here. This is a free lifestyle. Having that passport may serve you. You may not have to live in the country per se. You could have the passport if it gives you more benefits to live somewhere else and travel somewhere else or places, and it's worth having. And you in case you need it, if that U.S. passport, Canadian passport, becomes very difficult to travel, it could be very problematic in the future. As I've mentioned before, I think the U.S. passport may also continue to drop. I don't think the U.S. passport ranking is going to go up, unfortunately. I think in confederations like the European Union, most of these countries in the future, I think, will require visas for U.S. citizens, maybe Canadian citizens. I believe that the ranking of the U.S. passport the past 10 years has been inflated, the numbers, and I think the number reflected now is actually more representative of its true ranking. I think there's other Western countries in the same position, but it will probably take a little more time for that to kick in. And also for guys, if you're in the boat where you just want to relocate, you need to make a move, this may be a good time to do it, especially if you're from the States or from Canada. They could make it a lot more difficult. We could see a situation like Australia where you cannot leave. For some, it doesn't matter, of course, but for others, for guys who have kind of within the next 6 months or year, they want to go to another country, you may want to do it sooner and kind of adjust your timeline, because we really don't know what's going to happen in the States. And often the problem also, as I mentioned, in other countries, when the U.S. imposes protocols, other countries follow. And also, the U.S. can mandate items in other countries on U.S. citizens. I mean, we saw this with FATCA. In these kind of bills, they mandate all these countries to follow this protocol. So it's very difficult to say. Just stay strong here, and remember that there's probably almost always an option for every guy out there. If you do want to stay stateside or Canada, just stay strong and maybe look at the countryside if you're in the States or Canada, and see if there's land or something where it's more tranquil, maybe you have a little more liberty to do what you please. But always remember that having a second passport, second residency, can be very beneficial at the end of the day. So give me your feedback below, and thank you.